The first impression of wearing the Adidas Predator 26 Pro TF was, it feels more breathable and tight-fitting. The Predator 26 Pro TF features a NanoStrike Pro Mesh upper. Compared to the previous version, the upper is thinner, yet the material itself feels firmer. Thanks to the mesh-based construction, the shoe is noticeably lighter, but the material still does not stretch much. Based solely on the upper's feel, it actually feels closer to the F50 upper than to previous Predator models. One disappointing aspect is the creasing of the upper. In past uppers that experienced folding, the material tended to crease lightly without forming permanent wrinkles. However, with this Predator, wrinkles settle into specific areas, causing the same spots to repeatedly fold. This led to slight discomfort, and personally, I believe this upper creasing issue needs improvement. The iconic Predator upper texture offers very little friction when touched. Rather than serving a functional purpose, it feels closer to a purely design-oriented element. The toe box width is slightly roomy, similar to the soccer cleats version. However, unlike the toe box, the midfoot is extremely tight, resulting in a somewhat inconsistent overall fit. The instep features a fold-over tongue. This marks the first time a fold-over tongue has been applied to a pro-level turf shoe. Despite being a fold-over, split-tongue design, the midfoot felt so tight on initial wear that numbness and discomfort occurred. Since the overall last is quite narrow, players with wide feet should carefully consider this before purchasing. The Predator 26 Pro TF uses an internal heel counter with a firm and sturdy heel structure. Suede material is applied to the interior of the heel, and the cushioning thickness feels appropriate, not overly thick. However, heel lockdown remains lacking. As with the previous model, the heel depth feels shallow, and slight heel slippage was noticeable. To improve heel lockdown, it is recommended to lace the shoe all the way up to the top eyelet. The insole is identical to the one used in the soccer cleats. While suede is applied on the surface, it does not provide any significant functional benefit. The insole is relatively thick, one of the thickest among recently released soccer cleats and turf shoes. Moving on to the midsole, Adidas's consistently used light strike midsole is applied. Upon wearing, it does not deliver standout cushioning. Rather than softness, the midsole provides a firm and stable feel. The rubber outsole features a change from the previous triangular stud shape to a square-shaped stud pattern. Traction performance is solid, allowing stable play without noticeable slipping. One of the major issues of the previous model, the overly stiff outsole, has been properly adjusted. The Predator Pro TF previously felt uncomfortably rigid, but this has been improved, which was satisfying. When shooting with the Predator Pro TF, the kick feel reflects the characteristics of a thin and firm synthetic leather upper. While shots did not feel more powerful, there was no noticeable loss of energy either. The cushioning on the tongue does not play a major role during kicking, but it is fairly thick, providing a soft feel when the ball makes contact. The upper texture did not feel noticeable when attempting curl shots. For turf shoes, it's best not to place high expectations on upper textures. When exchanging passes, the touch did not provide a dampening effect that kills the ball's momentum on contact. Because the upper is thin, the ball's force is transmitted directly, requiring more delicate control. Personally, this felt quite different from the traditional touch associated with the Predator line. During dribbling, the reduced weight of the turf shoe was clearly noticeable. Quick controls and directional changes felt effortless. Compared to the previous model, the shoe is approximately 80 grams lighter per pair, US size 9. This review was conducted by a reviewer with a foot length of 268 millimeters and foot width of 100 millimeters, who typically wears Adidas US 9 and Nike US 9.5. The reviewer wore US 9 for this test. There was some extra length in the forefoot, while the width felt narrow. Although half size up was considered due to the tightness typical of turf shoes, it was ultimately dismissed as the length would become excessive. Because this is not a shoe designed for a standard foot shape, it is strongly recommended to try them on before purchasing. We hope the one-line verdict provided by the All That Boots reviewer helps you make a more informed decision when choosing your next pair of turf shoes.